And good evening, you're listening to the Modern Mystic Radio Show. My name is Sarah, I'm your host. I'm going to be with you for the next 30 minutes. You're also listening to A1R Psychic Radio, the world's #1 psychic radio network, and you're watching on Moonstruck TV. Right, so a little bit about my topic for today. As you may or may not know, over in the UK I am known as the Soulmate Psychic. And it's not really an area that I've chosen to go into, but it's more of an area that I found myself dealing with over the last few years with my callers, with my clients, my private clients, really looking at predominantly the soulmate crisis more than anything else. But tonight I want to talk about twin flames. It may be something you've heard of, it may be something that maybe you even met somebody and you're wondering if they're your twin flame. How do you recognise it? What is a twin flame? How do you recognise if that person is your twin flame or not? So I'm going to go through a few key characteristics for you to give you some sort of an idea of what a twin flame journey actually feels like. So firstly, what I want to talk about is what happens before you connect with your twin flame, because quite often you will go through shifts and changes yourself, maybe even a sense of awakening, or maybe even like a life-changing event will occur before you meet your twin flame. When you do meet your twin flame, there is a sense of unexpectedness with it. So if this is something perhaps you're looking to achieve guidance in within a reading as to when that twin flame is going to be brought into your life, that may be very difficult to actually pinpoint to define timing, because there is the element of surprise, and there needs to be the element of surprise for this twin flame energy to occur. So when you first meet somebody, one of the things as you will feel, first of all, an absolute inexplicable sense of recognition of that person, as though you've met them before, maybe even a sense of deja vu, and an unshakable feeling that you've known this person before. This could be to do with a past life connection, or it could just be the fact that you're recognising that other half of yourself. You have a feeling that they're going to play a very important role in your life, but you don't know how, when or where. You establish a really, really intense connection with them on an energetic level, which can be quite shocking, quite disturbing at times, and sometimes it's actually felt physically. So it may very well be that you physically feel that energy building up within you. You can actually end up being quite shaky with the energy. This is something that's happened to myself. You also feel as though within that person, you feel safe, you feel at home, you found yourself in that respect. You're able to be your own sort of true self, your authentic self, without the fear of being rejected. You both embody the yin and yang energy. In other words, your dark side is balanced by their light side and vice versa. You feel a sense of expansion with them, as though you are larger than your limited identity. They make you a better person and you make them a better person. You bring out the best in each other. When you are together, you're both bonded but you're free, attached but unattached. In other words, you still maintain your freedom even though you might be in a relationship with them. You are finely tuned into their energy, and they're finely tuned into yours. This could be in the form of almost like telepathic communication, being able to read each other's thoughts, maybe even being able to feel each other's emotions as your own. You feel as though you've been waiting for this person for your entire life. You both connect deeply and mirror each other's values and aspirations for life beyond surface similarities. Your twin flame is a mirror of what you fear and simultaneously what you desire for your own inner healing. For example, if you're highly strung, your twin flame will most likely be relaxed and messy. If you like to play the victim, your twin flame will be a strong character who refuses to give you pity or sympathy. In this way, our twin flames challenge and infuriate us, but also teach us important lessons about our fears, core wounds, and repressions. And quite often within a twin flame relationship, you know, there will be certain things that kind of trigger past situations or past memories within you that you've got to kind of work through within that twin flame energy. And normally within any other kind of relationship, this would cause conflict, and it can cause conflict within a twin flame connection as well. However, because of the unity, if you like, of the energy, you are able to actually heal and recover from that. No matter how many times you avoid or leave your twin flame, you're always magnetically drawn back to them. One of you generally is more soulfully mature than the other and often serves as a teacher, counsellor or confidant within the relationship. You are taught more important life lessons such as forgiveness, gratitude, empathy, open-mindedness. Your connection is multifaceted. In other words, your twin flame is likely to be your best friend, lover, teacher, nurturer and muse all at once. Your twin flame doesn't try to change you. They accept you for who you are and what stage you're at, and encourage you to do the same for yourself and vice versa. You can be totally honest and truthful with them about anything. And together, you can actually feel both drawn to a common goal, maybe even a spiritual goal. There is normally some sort of divine purpose between your union, which is something that either manifests straight away or within the relationship itself. Okay, so I'm going to be taking 2 callers today. I'm just going to wait for the first one to come through. If that resonates with you, then perhaps, you know, you can always contact me if you'd like me to have a deeper look into your twin flame connection. You can contact me on my website, which is www.modern-mystic.co.uk, or you can contact me on Facebook under Mystic Saira and also Modern Mystic. And you can also contact me through the A1R website as well. Okay, so let's just see if we have our first caller coming through. Just going to wait for that. And we do have somebody coming through, so I'm very excited to receive our first caller. So let's just see who this is. Be a couple of minutes. And we have Teresa from North Carolina. Hi, Teresa, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hi. Do you have a question for me tonight?
Yes, there is something that's really been bothering me, and, well, first off, you know, what she was talking about earlier about the soul flame or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
From what she was talking about earlier, this friend of mine, the one I'm fixing to tell you about, it seems like this is what happened when we first met. Okay, this started out about 7 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
We had like a what's called 60th class birthday party. Everybody was turning 60 this year.
Yeah.
So everybody started to put in their graduation picture from the yearbook.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I got a request from a guy that I used to date back about 4 years ago. Well, we dated for a while, and then he just, you know, disappeared. So I thought, okay, you know, didn't know what was going on. So we all get our separate ways. Okay. Well, when this come up, we started talking. He got in touch with me. We started talking.
Yeah.
And he was going to be in Hickory for a funeral of one of our friends' mothers. So we met up and started talking, and it's like I guess what you call reconnected, rekindled our relationship from 40 years ago. And everything was going fine and all, and he went back to where he lives, which is about 2 hours away.
Yeah.
Okay, everything was going fine until like about 2 weeks after that. And I was talking to him. He was supposed to come up. And he said he had a doctor's appointment. I said, okay. Come to find out a couple days later, when I talked to him, found out that he's got now this is a hard subject for him to talk about. He's got a prostate health problem. And I asked him if it was cancerous. And he is sort of upsetting he wouldn't talk about it. Well, see, when he was up and we were talking, 42 years ago, my dad died at age 42. And his cancer started in his prostate.
Okay.
Well, I think it kind of scared him. Well, anyway, also, on top of that, he was telling me all this stuff that he had, what we call on the plate. He's been dealing with, reselling his houses and trying to get closer up this way so we could, he wouldn't be so far away. On top of that, he's had other issues come up. And then I found out, on top of everything else that he's been dealing with, he's a county commissioner, which is, that's really, keeps him busy and all this. On top of all that, he gets this health issue on top of it. And then I come along back in the picture, which adds to that. And in the past, I found out when we were talking, here's what happened. When we were dating 40 years ago, we were young, and he thought, well, he wasn't good enough for me. So, I guess he just walked away and, never did explain what happened. Well, in that meantime, he had went off into the military, and he was injured, got a Purple Heart, all this stuff, which he went into a depression thing. He went, then he went off to banking college, went through that, and here in the meantime, we had lost contact with each other. Yeah. He got married, had his kids, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now he's in the process of all this on him, and he's had people hacking into his Facebook account, stuff like that, which is on top of everything else, it has really stressed him out. So here 2 weeks ago, I talked to him because all this stuff's going on. He said, look, he says, it really scared me. Telling his voice scared me because he said, I'm really emotional right now. I don't want to be around anybody, talk to anybody. It's not you. It's just everything is just, he felt like it was closing in on him. Yeah. I said, okay. He said we talked to him when, he got things said, which scares me because of him telling me about his depression that he was in. And I'm thinking, well, is he going back into this depression again? Which that scares me, consider he has issues from being in the military and being shot and all that. And it's like he's not taking people's calls. He's got off Facebook completely. And I've been at a stance that I don't know how to deal with it because I don't know how to help him. And I'm thinking this issue with his health has a lot to do with it because this is when everything started changing. And he's in that state of mind that really scares me. And I don't know, and I don't want to push him in this state of mind. And I just, what you think about is this maybe a death issue? Maybe it's cancer, and it may be, terminal, or he just don't want to talk about it, and that's the part that scares me.
I mean, I pulled out some cards for you, also just trying to tune into the energy with this. And, you know, there's a lot of fear around him. And I also feel here, you know, even he doesn't know all the answers, you know, right at the moment. And I feel that even though you've kind of had this sort of reconnection and reunion, and I am seeing a lot of this here within sort of soulmates and twin flames, you know, this other aspect that's kind of come in. This is something, and another thing to kind of consider here is that quite often with these soul connections, and particularly twin flame energy, is there will be some sort of block standing in the way. And this is what I feel. I feel like when we're looking at the health aspect here with him, you know, I feel like this is what block is. I feel like you're doing the right thing in the sense of kind of giving him the space to kind of deal with whatever he's got to deal with. I do feel that he's going to open up communication again with you, and I feel like there is going to be more of a sense of openness. But I feel that until he knows where he is or what's going to happen around the health area, it's like he doesn't want to start entering into something that might end up causing you more pain. Does that make sense?
Yes. Oh, see, that's why, you know, because I was talking to my daughter, me and my daughter, we, you know, she understands all stuff like this. And she feels the same way I do. I mean, he's got all this on his plate at one time. And his health issue, he doesn't want to, like, pull me into it, because I guess he feels like, well, it's really not, you know, my problems, it's his issues. He needs to solve himself and not worry me with them, which, you know, that part, you know, I can understand.
Yeah.
And as far as, yeah, I really believe that once he sorts all this stuff out and gets all this, you know, in perspective, especially his health, yeah, he will be back in contact. It just, it bothers me that the seriousness of the illness, because he won't talk with, I can understand that, because my daddy, when he was going through that, prostate, his was cancerous, and he didn't want to talk about it until, you know, near the very end.
Yeah.
But back then, they didn't have the technology and the stuff that they do now to treat and, you know, cure stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which they do now, they have all this other stuff that, you know, they can catch it and they can, like I say, if it is cancer, he has a better shot now than he would have back when my dad was living.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's just the waiting, I guess, not knowing, you know, what's going on that end. It's just like put me in, you know, I guess like a waiting period again, but at least I know, you know, sort of what's going on in his situation. For 40 years, I didn't know anything.
I mean, what I feel in terms of timing-wise, where I feel that things are a lot smoother between you two, is I want to say by the time we get to the end of the year, beginning of next, sort of December, January time, is where I feel that, you know, you're going to start to get more open communication with him, because I feel on the whole at that point, you know, he's going to be feeling a lot more positive. You know, at the moment I feel that it's not just you that he's kind of shutting out. I feel like he's doing this with many people around him. And I know that obviously you know, there's a lot that you could do, you know, if he gave you the chance to support him. And I do feel that you will be given that chance, but just a little bit further down the line. You know, this, how can I put it? This feels like, you know, your connection plus, you know, this other element of health within him, you know, has kind of come at the wrong time.
Yes, that's what I feel too, because, like I say, when we met up that first time he come in Hickory, I mean, it's like, we both connected, like, I mean, we were both, I mean, we both felt like our souls were both at peace, finally. We had found our, I guess what you call soulmate, that we had known all along, but yet, it just like, we had both come to home. Our souls were at home with each other.
Yeah. I mean, don't feel that, you know, you've kind of got this connection come into your life and now you're going to lose him, because I don't feel like I've got that as a, you know, as an outcome here for you. If anything, I actually get the relationship building stronger here as we go forwards into the future with this. So this feels like it's like a bump in the road when we're looking at that connection here. Like I said, sort of give it towards the end of the year, and I feel like because he would have more of a clear idea of how this health situation is going to affect him in the long term, you know, I feel this is something that he's got to find out for himself and kind of come to terms with before he can embark in a relationship, which I do feel that he would like with you.
Yes, I mean, we talked about, you know, the future and all that. You know, all this, before this come up with the health issue. Like, okay, you know, let me get this, and this situated, and then we'll move on to get our relationship back where he wants us, you know, back together, which we should have been like 40 years ago, so to speak. Like I said, what I need to do is just continue, just let him have his space and let him get back with me when he feels it's comfortable for him to.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like he's very conscious that, you know, you are waiting for that communication to come through from him and for him to open up there. But like I said, I feel like it's going to be another few weeks before you get to see that happen. But, you know, I do that's what you've got to kind of remember, is I do see that happening, and I do feel as though you are going to have that time to explore that relationship a little bit more. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And that, I can feel that makes me more confident about what I was feeling, and after talking to my daughter about, because she feels the same way about this, that I just need to back off and just let him get back in touch with me when he feels like he's able to open up and talk about it.
Yeah, and there is also that significance there of, you know, the one thing that he's kind of suffering from is the one thing that you've got, you know, direct experience with as well. You know, it's almost like, you know, I kind of see this relationship as, you know, this is something you'll be able to help him with and help him heal from. You know, again, I'm pulling out a couple more cards here for you, and they're showing me the 2-month time period here with this. They're also saying, you know, that for the moment, just for the time being, just to wait patiently with this. And then I feel as though he's smack bang in your life again. You know, I feel like this connection that you've got is very real for the both of you. You know, it's felt on both sides. And looking forwards here, once he's kind of got through all of that difficulty, all the challenges he's got to get through with the health front, which I actually feel here, you know, I've got balance coming in around it. I feel here that, you know, your relationship is actually going from strength to strength because I get commitment falling into it as well.
Well, that makes me feel a lot better because, I mean, this is what I've been feeling too, and I just wanted to, like, reassure myself from somebody, you know, else that what I was feeling was genuine and not just, you know.
Mhm.
And
yeah,
what you're
absolutely.
saying, I understand. And what you said, just said that's what I've been deep down. That's what I've been feeling too. And like I said, I just need to give him the time and let him come back to me when he's ready.
Yeah, and like I said, you know, this is not a long time period. I mean, you've already waited 40 years for this reconnection to come in. And I don't feel like it's going to disappear off again. And I do feel that everything that he kind of expressed to you was coming from a very, very genuine place.
Okay, because that's good, because that's what I've been feeling too. I just, you know, because I was having all these, you know, second thoughts. Well, is this just like you hear, and then it's going to be another repeat of 40 years ago, just disappear again? But I don't, deep down, I don't feel that. I feel like once you get all this problems out of his way, then he's going to move back into, for us to be together like we should have been, so to speak.
Absolutely. I would just give it until sort of end of December and early January. Right, I think I'm almost at the end of my show, so I'm going to thank you for coming through. I'm going to wish you all the best with your twin flame there as well. So thank you very much for coming through to the show. So that's it. My show is now at an end. Just to remind you, if you want to get hold of me, you can on www.modern-mystic.co.uk. I also do a weekly live free Facebook session on the Mystic Saira page, so if you want to get involved with that, you can do. It's normally on a Thursday, 8 p.m. UK time. So I'm going to wish you a wonderful week ahead. Stay tuned for some more great shows, and I'll see you the same time next week. Goodbye for now.